Extras today. Can I sing a Marathi bhajan written by Sant Gyaneshwar? Where is? Please do. It will be good if you tell what you are singing first. Then you start.
Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. In 12th century, there are 12 saints who were born in Maharashtra. And Maharashtra Kuladevati is Pandarinath Panduranga. Everybody has written so many abhangas, about more than 20,000 abhangas are written by these 12 saints who never gone to school, they were born as an avatar of the Bhagavan only. One of them was Gnaneshwar Maharaj. He was only a 16-year-old when he has commented on the Bhagavad Gita. It is called Gnaneshwari. It is very famous in our Maharashtra. And he has written about 1100 bhajans. That is called abhangas in Marathi language. Never destroy. In every abhanga you will find Bhakti Gnana Vairagya. So one of the bhajan, I am going to sing it. That is, every saint likes some in form of some god. Tulsidas likes Ram. Our Gnaneshwar Maharaj and all saints, they want Panduranga. Our Pujya Swamiji was Gangadhareshwar. So like that he has also written on that one. Once one sadhaka has asked him, Gnaneshwar, which god you like? He said, Maja Jivichi Avadi. Maji Jivichi Avadi. I like Panduranga. Maji Jivichi Avadi. Pandarpura Neyina Gudi. Pandarpura means Panduranga Paramatma who is there. Gudi means saffron flag. So my Jivichi Avadi is to take the flag to the Pandarpura to see the Panduranga. Why he says? Because Maja Mano Rangale, my mind is merged with Panduranga. Why so? I like his gunas. Govindache guna vedale. Bhagavan's gunas are Yash, Aishwarya, Avdarya, Gnana, Vairagya, Aishwarya. These Saha gunas, 6 gunas are there. He likes that one. That's why he likes Panduranga Paramatma. Then he said, then you can, you are being an Gnani, you must have experience in this Jagruti Swapna Suship. He says that I never experienced in Jagruti Swapna Suship. Rupa Pahata Ananda Vata Satave. When I see that face of the Bhagavan, the Saguna Bhakti, that is called. So everybody signs. Though our Pujya Swamiji was a great Gnani, but he likes to see that Gnaneshwara, this Gangadhareshwara's statue as a Saguna Bhakti. So he said that in Jagruti Swapna I could not see, but when I see the face of it, so it is, I am become a Svachidananda Swarupa. Baparakma Devi Varu Saguna Nirgunu. Though I know that it is Saguna and Nirguna, but when this Panduranga is standing on this the brick for 28 yugas, I like that to see him. When I see them, that I will become a Sachidananda. That's why I like Panduranga, he says. So that bhajan I am going to sing now. Maje Jivichi Avadi, Maje Jivichi Avadi, Maje Jivichi Avadi, Maje Jivichi Avadi, Pandarpura जागृति सपना सुषुप्ति नाटवे जागृति सपना जागृति सपना सुषुप्ति नाटवे जागृति सपना सुषुप्ति नाटवे रूप पाहता आनंद साटवे पांडुरंगे मन मंगले पांडुरंगे मज मन रंगले गोविंदाचे गुणी वेदले गोविंदाचे गोविंदाचे गुणी वेदले पांडुरंगे मन रंगले पांडुरंगे मन मंगले बापरत्मा देवी वरो सगुण निर्गुण बापरत्मा देवी वरू सगुण निर्गुण बापरत्मा देवी वरू बापरत्मा देवी वरू बापरत्मा देवी वरू सगुण निर्गुण बापरत्मा देवी वरू सगुण निर्गुण रूपा विटेवरी दाविला कोण रूपा विटेवरी दाविला कोण माझ मन रंगले माझे मन रंगले गोविंदाचे गुणी वेदले गोविंदाचे 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 गुणी वेदले हे गोविंदाचे गोविंदाचे गुणी वेदले गोविंदाचे ओ गोविंदाचे गुणी वेदले गोविंदाचे गुणी वेदले पांडुरंगे मन रंगले पांडुरंगे मन रंगले पांडुरंगे मन रंगले ओम नमः पार्वती पते
हर हर महादेव. Very good. Thank you. So are you part of Varkhari Sampradaya? Ah, okay. Okay. So everybody got tired after yesterday. Not many questions today. I have less work. Our minds are so limited. If I understood correctly, it is not through the mind that we wake up to the ultimate reality. Then how does it happen? Can you explain, please? Whose question? Good. Whoever puts a question, I would request you to identify yourself, okay? So I know whose question it is. All right. Let's say you are having a dream. And in the dream, you have a body, you are walking around. You want to know your reality in the dream. What will you know with your mind? In your dream, you can only know whatever is in the dream, correct? Anything in the dream that you can objectify, you can objectify. But what is the reality of the dreamer? It's not the dream at all. The whole dream world is a appearance. Reality is, you wake up from the dream alone, you see it. Correct? But you take yourself in the dream to be what? You, with the body, mind, sense complex. Correct? So now the question is, would you know the reality with your mind or not? The dream mind. Huh? So obviously you will not know as an object the reality of your dream. But you think you are that dream body, that you can see or not with the mind. You think you are the dreamer's mind, that you can see or not. So what you are not, you need to use your mind to remove. There's no choice there. Any knowledge takes place only with the mind, including self-knowledge. So you have to use your mind. The mind is very necessary, but it is not going to objectify the truth, because the truth is the truth of both the knower and the known and the knowing. There is no other thing. There is only one truth. Therefore, we say it in two ways. In one place we will say it cannot be known by the mind. That's what you are asking. But the other statement it will say it is only with the mind that it can be known. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. Only with the mind you can know. Which is correct? Both are correct, in the sense that it cannot be made into an object of the mind at the same time. Without the mind, you cannot know it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. That's why the paradox, I find it so confusing.
Yeah, it seems like a paradox, but explained away like this. Because there are people who will say, therefore what should you do? Kill the mind. Samadhi, kill the mind. No thinking. Will you know the truth then? There was a question yesterday also, if you heard the question, somebody asked the question, is Samadhi, can you know the Samadhi you cannot know yourself through Samadhi. Samadhi gives you an insight. Any experience needs to be interpreted. Therefore, without a mind you can't know. Otherwise, we would all know ourselves in sleep and you don't need to do anything in waking. That's not how it works. And that is why we are talking of the initial growth in terms of the mind getting prepared, for which we need prayer, for which we need a lot of things. Therefore, the mind is needed, but you don't know the ultimate reality through the mind. You use the word ultimate reality, correct, but actually there's only one reality, everything else is not real. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
How do I know that I'm not falling in my own trap of false identity, myself as Atma, undying, etc.? So, basically, you're reading these scriptures, right? And it tells you what? You are timeless. Do you think you're timeless? Unless you can think you're timeless, you can't make a mistake. It will say you have no form, but you see a form. So you can't make a mistake if you follow the Shastra. Because to know what cannot be objectified, what is your means of knowledge? Suppose you have to see a zebra. You have never seen one. I can tell you, you know what? You go to Tanzania or one of those places and you see this, donkey? Yes, I know a donkey. It will be like a donkey, but it will have stripes. It will be a little bigger. There will be herds of them. You will know, you will recognize it. You don't want to know a giraffe? I will tell you. It's the one with a tall neck. You can recognize it. But now, how are you going to recognize yourself? You already think, I know myself. This is where we begin. I know myself. I am so and so. I am so old. I do this, I do that. But I ask you, whatever you are talking about is what you are seeing. If you say I am a woman, I will say, how do you know? You will have to tell me how you know. So you will say, this body is a woman's body. So you are objectifying it. What you objectify, if it is you, then you should agree you are the pot. You won't agree to that. So what will you say? What I objectify, I am not. Because what you objectify is an event in time. It comes, it goes. So then, is the body objectified by me? Yes, that cannot be me. Is the mind objectified by me? Yes. Mind means every thought, every emotion, that's all gone. So you see the whole world only through the mind. So and you also know the absence of the mind in your sleep. Then how will you know yourself? You have to admit that I don't know myself. You can't know yourself standing apart. Because if you stand apart, then whatever is there is what you know and not you. Correct? So now, if you followed this argument that Shastra presents, you can't say, I know myself. You can't fall into that trap. Right? Further, it will tell you, then what are you? I will tell you what you are. Just like I have to tell you what's a giraffe and what's a zebra, you will want to know, how do I recognize myself now? And I'll tell you, it is that which can never be denied. It is that which is unlike everything else. It is that which is not in time. This is one set of words. It is that which is always knowing. Then you try to fit that into any of what you think you are the waker, it won't fit. So far as you first understand, I cannot know myself like a person cannot ride on his own shoulders. This should be clear to you. Until then you can keep thinking you know yourself. But if that is clear, then you know you can't know yourself. And when you see the Shastra, it will show you. And what it shows you is not an object, but all objective knowledges you are made to negate it, then the one who is negating everything cannot be negated. And that is the truth of who you are. It will never be an object. It will be, I am the truth. Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Could you please give us an overview of what you think is important for us to know about Dakshinamurti? Who is the questioner? Okay. Dakshinamurti is another form. Like this morning I said Vishnu is with, he's got 4 hands, he's doing a few things. Dakshinamurti is another form. The Lord is only one. But the Lord can be seen through different standpoints. So when we look at the Lord as the one who first taught this knowledge, then that as a teacher, the first teacher, we look upon the Lord as Dakshinamurti. Okay? So it's a benign form, it's a teacher's form. Most forms you will see will have some weapons, typically. So if you see Shiva, he'll have a trident. Why does he have a trident? Not because he's afraid of you, but because we want to feel protected. Therefore, he has a trident, and he's well armed. Idea is well armed. So nobody, if he says, I am the bodyguard, nobody will come near you. So the bhakta feels, I am protected. That's the idea behind weapons in the hands of the devatas. And you will see something like this. Hand gestures, each has a meaning in every form that you see. So in Dakshinamurti's case, you're saying, what are the important things to know? As I said, first it is the form of the first teacher. Lord as a teacher, the first teacher. Why first teacher? Because Lord always comes first before anything else comes. He is in the form of the whole world. Yet, he can take on a form also. Just like in your dream, you can also be in your own dream. It's your knowledge. If you see your body in the dream, it's how you appear in your own mind. Correct? So same way, in the creation, Dakshinamurti, Ishvara can appear as a form too. And that form here is called Dakshinamurti. Okay. Now Dakshinamurti, Dakshina means south. Murti means face. South facing. South facing is Dakshinamurti, the Lord who faces south. So, see, every direction is assigned a deity who is in charge of the direction. The southern direction, the Lord is Yama, time, who takes people away. Therefore, in general, human beings don't want to face him. Therefore, we will not face south. North stands for knowledge. We face north. So he is facing south. So he is facing south means you are facing him, and he faces death. Faces means he is not afraid. Time is under his in his hands. That is the basic meaning of Dakshinamurti. All right? Now, that's not all. It also means, Daksha means one who is capable. Amurti means one who has no form. So he is very capable of manifesting this world, keeping it going for a while, and resolving it. Himself being formless, he is able to manifest a formful world, himself being formless. That's the glory. That is Dakshinamurti, another meaning. And then we say, because he is a teaching form, what does he have? What is the whole form? If you look at the whole world, what is the whole world known by? How do you know the whole world? You know it in terms of the five senses. Suppose you didn't have five senses, what world would you see? There is no world to experience, correct? Therefore, entire world is what? Known through five senses. And each of those five senses is assigned an element. All right? So, space is the element which has an attribute called sound. The other elements are what? Do you know? You are aware of the elements? Have you heard of them? Space, then you have wind, fire, water, earth. Right? Don't take these literally. The element stands for one sense, so to say. So space stands for sound. Air stands for touch. Fire stands for sight. Water stands for taste. And earth stands for smell. This is the arrangement. Now you want to say, therefore the whole world, universe is five elemental model. Pancha Mahabhutas. These are the five. And now you want to show Dakshinamurti is the Lord, I told you. He is the manifestation of the Lord. So we should now show that all that is here is Dakshinamurti. We want to show that. How will you show that? We want to show that the five elements are him. Therefore, the form that you see has to include all five elements. How do you show five elements in a form? So, to show space, there is a drum. If you've seen, have you seen there is one, where? This one? No, top, there is one there, you can see there. Okay? If you haven't seen, you can see it later. But there is a drum in the hand. How does the drum make noise? Because there is space in that. Or even as our singer was doing. Very efficient. So, space is required there, right? So, that space is shown by the drum. That represents space. Then you want to show wind. How do you show wind? So, the way the wind is shown is wind means movement. Wind means movement. How do I show movement in a stationary sculpture? So, he has a lot of hair. And if there was no wind, he would not need a bandana. He wears a bandana. If you go and see, there will be a band here. Therefore, that bandana represents the wind element, which means sense of touch. Then he is holding a torch in his hand. That stands for the fire element, sight. All right? And then he has the Ganga coming from his head. That stands for the water element. And the whole form, the sculpture, is earth. So the 5 elements are covered. Right? Then you will typically find his students are sitting at his feet. 3, 4 of them. You will find them. Great rishis, they are sitting there. And you will find one fellow under his foot. One fellow is getting squished under his foot. And that fellow has a big mustache, a handlebar, and he has a dagger. That fellow is called Apasmara. He stands for the unconscious. All of us have an unconscious. The unconscious will be there till you are alive. It won't go away. And it can bother you a lot. Because what you're not conscious of, childhood issues will come and bother you. That's why he has a dagger. But when you take refuge with the Lord just puts his foot on him. He doesn't die, but he can't create trouble. He is held in check. So the unconscious being held in check is shown by Apasmara. He cannot be killed, because if he is killed, you will also go. Unconscious is part of your life. So therefore he is only kept in check. All right. Then he has 4 hands. Right? So each hand has something. What is one hand now? One hand has got the fire. We talked about that. Another hand has got the books. In this side, the hand, he's got books. The book stands for the Veda, the Shabda, the knowledge which is revealed. That's the books. And then, that I know. Yeah, other hand is showing the drum. One is drum, one is fire, one is this books, and the last hand is called Chin Mudra. Mudra means a gesture. Okay? If you see in Bharatanatyam dances, you will see they'll do a lot of gestures. Called Mudra. So this is the Mudra. What does it stand for? This stands for the Lord. This stands for the Lord. This stands for, what do you do with this finger? Fellow who's pointing out everywhere, he is the Jiva, the individual. Okay? This fellow normally joins with the elements around and thinks he is one of the things in the world. That's called the 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. But the teaching that Bhagavan wants to teach, hey, look, you don't belong as one of the elements and one of the things in the world. You are actually one with me. But the ego has to bend. The ego has to bend and join Ishvara in one continuous whole. It's endless. It's one whole. So teaching is what? Look, you don't belong in the world. You are one with me. Said without words, so to say. Gesture. That is called a Chin Mudra. And on this hand you will find a rosary hanging. And the rosary stands for, generally rosary is used for what? You tell. You do the japa. What is japa? It's a sadhana. So the rosary stands for all the things you need to do to become a person who is prepared to learn what this means. That's what it stands for. And then you see a smile on his face. What does smile stand for? Is no reason for him to be sad. He is always happy. He is contented totally. And he stands for, is he man or woman? We don't have any bias. He is half man, half woman. How do you show that? One earring is a nice means feminine earring. The other one is a funny looking earring. That's a masculine earring. So by that they show there are both male and female aspects are included in the Lord. Is there anything else? Sun and, you'll see on top there is a sun and moon. So the sun represents actually all stars, in all the galaxies. You can look at it that way. And the moon represents the satellites, or you can say moon represents time. We extend it a little there. I guess that's it. So that's what Dakshinamurti is. So he is the one who reveals you are the whole. Okay? Good. The tree is not necessarily there. If the here it's there. Correct. There you don't see it. Right? So the tree stands for the life of becoming, endless life of becoming. Yeah, a banyan tree of some kind, ficus family, which has secondary roots, and it spreads and keeps on spreading. The idea is this: the root of the tree is Bhagavan. Okay. So when will that samsara end? When you recognize the tree with its root. The root which is formless appears as the tree. Whatever. They will say Vata, they will say Nyagrodha. It's okay. It doesn't matter. What matters is this: it's an endless tree. Why is it an endless tree? Because it has one main trunk, but has hundreds of. It can spread over acres, one tree. And after a while, you won't know which is the main trunk, which is the other trunks. And each one of them can sustain the tree. Could be. Yeah, I didn't say anything about it, but I guess you want to hear about it. Fair enough. No, I'll explain that. It's good to remove one notion. The notion is that he teaches without opening his mouth. After opening our mouth for months or years also, what we try to communicate doesn't get clear. You imagine now I'll come and sit here like this. 1 week for the retreat. How many of you are going to understand? What will you understand? You tell me. You will think, Swamiji is saying the food was excellent. Silence can be interpreted in any way you like. Suppose I ask you, how was the class? You keep silent. It depends now on what my self-impression is. If I felt the class was not good, you didn't like it, I'll think she's saying it was horrid. No, please understand. All I'm saying is, silence cannot convey anything. And since you're a Ramana devotee, let me say that further. What does Ramana say? That's where your problem will come. Ramana says, silence speaks louder than words. Fair. It is not silence this silence is talking about. Can't talk of this silence. Not even silence of the mind. Silence of the mind can be disturbed by the mind being disturbed. The silence stands for a truth. It's the silence which is not opposed to noise. Opposed to noise. Noise is also there. Silence and noise can't go together. But the noise is also in that. That silence we are talking about. And that cannot be. You know what Swamiji would say for this? Okay. We will have Kathopanishad, 5 blank pages. Brihadaranyaka, 45 blank pages. Bhagavad Gita, 25 blank pages. What will you understand from that book? So, finally what we will say? Finally what do we say? If you are Sanat Kumara, one of the rishis, and if teacher is Dakshinamurti, then Maunam you can have. Okay? So, but that's an extension, because we are saying Dakshinamurti revealed teaching. He didn't reveal an empty book called Veda. It's all written up, okay? So, we don't like to, we explain it like this. It is not by a silent exposition he taught, because there is no silent exposition. The exposition whose content is real silence. Exposition all words, but the words reveal that which is the truth, which is not objectifiable. In that sense, it is silence. So, maunameva vyakhyanam vyasya mauna vyakhya. We'll take it that way. Grammatically, you can play with things. Okay?
Swamiji, along that line, Brahma Maharishi says, silence is truth
Mm-hmm.
and stillness is God. This statement is very confusing. I know that we are not talking
I don't know offhand. I'll have to see the context in which he says it. Okay? But then, see, is he separating silence and God? I don't think so. Ramana won't do it. Ramana knows very well. I have total respect for what Ramana
But
says.
that statement he always says, whenever the silence is truth and stillness is God.
Where? Where have you heard this?
No, in
Which
Ramana-
book?
in
Give me a
Ram-
quote.
In Ramana's Ramana Gita,
Ramana Gita, no way. I will tell you that myself. I have seen it. Ramana Gita, Saddarshana Upadesaram, forget it. You will have to quote from some devotee writing some story about what Ramana told him. That we can discount. Yeah. Devotees write a lot of things. They suffer from devotitis. So, we'll leave that alone. Okay? All right. Dakshinamurti is done. Huh? Okay. Swamiji, could you, whose question? Okay. Could you please elaborate on free will further? Say situation A is presented, basis past karma, and I have the ability to use free will. Okay? Okay. Free will has two possible expressions, you're saying. Okay. Free will 1 or free will 2. Okay. Two possible expressions of free will or responses. Is the outcome predetermined? It can't be. It's not predetermined. If outcome is predetermined, then the input also should be predetermined. If you want to eat dal chawal, you better have lentils and rice in the pot first. So, if outcome is predetermined, the previous thing also has to be predetermined. It's not predetermined. The situation is there and you use your will. So, if you use free will 1, you will have one outcome. If you use free will 2, you will have a different outcome.
But you don't have total control on the outcome. You're saying something.
Yeah, so the point is this. Now, I decide, I want to drop this and let it fall here. Correct? But meanwhile, wind came and it blew it there. Or a bird came and grabbed it in between. Right? So I am saying, do you know all the variables in any situation? Do you know the laws completely? So when you have to shoot down a missile coming, there is so much computation involved to make sure you have the right trajectory and you can go and get it, etc. So all this is discovered, but there will be some. When you try it out first time, I'm sure there will be failures, and that's because something was not factored in. So there's always something unknown. So if everything about a given thing is known, it will be predictable. The outcome will be predictable. So you say the plane took off, it takes off from Bangalore, and he tells you in 12 p.m. he takes off, and he'll say we expect to arrive at Dehradun at 2:57. They'll give you a time like that. Another day they will tell you we expect to arrive there at 2:45. Why? Because we have favorable tailwinds. And another day he'll say it's going to take 4 hours because we have very strong headwinds. So you factor all this in. But despite all that, you could be wrong. And you know what? You took off all right, you're supposed to land, but the plane crashed. You don't know about that. So there are a lot of possibilities, and the more unknown a subject matter is, the more the possibilities of things deviating from what you expect. So we say, whenever you undertake an action using your will, with a given outcome in view, because nobody undertakes an action without an outcome in view. a very popular misconception is that you should do action without caring for the outcome. And they will have a song also. Karam kiye ja, phal ki chinta mat kar. Don't bother about the outcome of the result, just do it. Which idiot will do an action without thinking of the outcome? Even the fellow who says that, does he expect me to hear him or not? He expects me to buy that at least, that argument, right? Therefore, it is seriously foolishness to say you have to do an action without bothering about the outcome. You do an action for the sake keeping an outcome in view. I want to eat lunch, therefore I'll cook lunch. I want to reach somewhere, therefore I get into a cab. Correct? But now, though you did that, whether you will reach the desired outcome is not entirely, it's not just your will or your effort that determines it. There are other factors involved. There could be many factors involved. Could be. So I want to reach somewhere, somebody else also want to reach somewhere, and they are in a hurry and they bang my car. Anything can go wrong, right? So we say the possibilities are you will gain the outcome as you desire. You may do better than your desired outcome. You may do, you may not reach your desired outcome, or you might end up in a situation which is totally undesirable. All these are possible. What accounts for all these possibilities? There could be many factors, and we gather them all and say that is Ishvara, including your will. Everything is Ishvara. Therefore, Karma Phala Data is Ishvara. Why? Because he is all knowledge. He knows every variable, and he knows exactly what should be the resultant with all the variables taken into consideration dynamically as it happens. Okay?
Swamiji,
Yes?
does my prarabdha karma have any role in my exercising the free will?
Does your prarabdha karma have any role in your exercising free will? It does. It does. Is the question clear to all of you? You understand what prarabdha karma means? Prarabdha means the karma which has already started to fructify. This body is born. It's born because of a set of karmas. And this body will continue until that set of karmas has not completely exhausted. That is called prarabdha. It's already begun. Prarabdha means already begun. So now the question is, does prarabdha karma influence my ability to exercise my free will? Now what we say is this: the laws are such that you get a particular kind of body. You have a mind with a set of tendencies, and these are determined by your prarabdha. Now suppose you have abused your free will a lot earlier. You're born as a human, all right, but your free will can be a little edited, checked. And therefore you might be more under the influence, likely more under the influence of possibilities of anger. The possibilities are there. Not that it will always happen. But even as you're born, there's somebody who will be able to think and see things clearly. Somebody will be a little more muddle-headed. These are all given. So, because there are so many varieties of people, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas combinations are all different. Why somebody has a given combination? Because they past karma. Therefore, prarabdha does influence how much free will you might be able to enjoy. But free will every human being will have. And he can free it more and more. You use a little free will to increase your freedom to the extent that finally, with this knowledge, you can say you don't need free will. So, yes, free will is not exactly the same, because the free will is under the sway of your tendencies. And the tendencies you are given. That you have a short fuse is given. But you can make the fuse longer is a possibility which is given. Is that clear? Anything else? Yes?
Not related to this, it's a fresh question.
Sure.
So, Swamiji,
In
Oh,
yes.
1 second, no? I'm sorry. I'll take it, but I forgot to see the screen. Okay. Two questions here. One is how to obtain Ishvara Anugraha. Whose question is this? Okay. We will talk about it. I have already said a little, okay? You have to relate with Ishvara. Hmm? Okay, I understand. I'll answer your question. That you're saying, without Ishvara Anugraha, you can't get Ishvara Anugraha. I said that also. Shiva Prasadena Vinana Buddhi, Shiva Prasadena Vinana Mukti, etc. I said that. Okay? True. See, the point is this. That you're born is Anugraha. That Anugraha you already have. That much Anugraha you have. How to get more Anugraha is the question. You can't ask a cow can't ask me, how can I get more Anugraha? I will say, first you are born as a human being. Right? Therefore, that you are a human being means you have some freedom. Now you can only say, how should I use my will to not ruin what I have, but to get more Anugraha? That question is valid. Is that clear? So it's not chicken and egg problem. You have Anugraha, you're already there, and you can use it. Okay? And how do you get earn Anugraha? By doing actions which are in keeping with Dharma, predominantly. What is to be done by you, you do. What is not to be done, you don't do. Don't hurt. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't deceive. Don't do what you don't want others to do to you. Reach out. I told you, Ishta Karma, Purta Karma, all these, Swakarma, all these are means to tap the Anugraha of Ishvara. Okay. Second question is the mind and thoughts, moments of the mind in time and therefore matter? Yes, it is matter. It's not something other than matter, really. And when the body drops, is it the mind that acquires another form based on its tendencies as matter? Tendencies as matter is neither created nor destroyed. Finally, at moksha, is it that mind's tendency is completely oriented to the total, hence it steps off the treadmill? Okay. See, when the body drops, it's not just the mind. You're not, where's the questioner? Yeah, there you are, okay. So, it's not just the mind. Have you heard of something called a Sukshma Sharira so far? I haven't talked about it yet here in these sessions. I will probably a little later. But it's mind plus senses plus pranas, etc. A few things taken together. What we know for sure is that a fellow is living. Something seems to leave this body because the body is there, but something which enlivens the body seems to leave. Right? And you don't see it leaving. If you were to see it leaving, you won't let it leave. That's the way it is. So, that is called Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. And it is matter. Again, let me make one more thing clear to you. Matter and sentiency are two ways of looking at that one reality alone. Because in your dream, you have both live people and matter. But all of that is you, the conscious being. So this sentient, insentient difference is at one level. Ultimately, we don't admit to it. There is only one, right? But at this level, yes, it is matter alone, Sukshma Sharira alone, which travels from body to body. And it is backed up by what is called as Karna Sharira, which is the cause for the Sukshma and Sthula Sharira, which will have all your karma account, collected karma. It travels based on what karma has to be fructified. And when you have moksha, then what happens? Moksha, nothing really happens. Moksha is always a fact. Moksha is not an event. What happens? Nothing happens. What really is the fact is the person with this embodiment recognizes that All this is but one reality, and it's all manifest in different ways. Okay?
I have another related question.
Okay.
Is there something called the total mind?
They use that word in translations to mean Ishvara's mind. Ishvara doesn't have a mind. But they do use that expression. They'll say Hiranyagarbha is total mind. We don't, Puja Swami would not normally use that mind because it's misleading. It is not this all mind put together as a total mind. It's not like that. The mind has that total mind is really Maya. It's not a mind at all. Mind means sequentiality. You can know only one thing at a time. Total mind would again mean some sequential. It's not like that. The word total mind, the Sanskrit expression is samashti. Samashti. But what we say is samashti means total, vyashti means individual. Both those words are a standpoint. Both those are a standpoint. You look at a wave in the ocean, one individual wave, right? What are you looking at? Water. You look at it through a wave, it's an individual. You look at that same water through a total, it is what? Samashti. Is the ocean a sum of all waves? It's not. It's water alone. So water from one standpoint is seen as a wave, an individual. Water from another standpoint is seen as the ocean. Same way, what is only one reality, and that one reality alone, since you say I am an individual, and there must be there other things, therefore you talk of a total to which the individual belongs. The word individual cannot be fulfilled unless there's a total, and the word total cannot be fulfilled unless there's an individual. So it's just, all words. Okay?
Thank you, Swami.
Okay, last question. Just 1 second, let her come so others can hear your question too.
So in yesterday's second class, you just had mentioned it and dropped it there. So I want you to speak a little more on that. You lifted a leaf and you said that the access to the formless is through the form. This is a form, that is a form. You remove the form, what is there is the being. So what is that prakriya? Can you explain more?
Not now.
Not now? Okay. Sure.
No, essentially it's, see, in a simple way to say to you, you have this, and you have this. What do you call this? A gold bangle. You call this a gold chain. Remove the chain, remove the bangle. Don't say throw the bangle. Remove the bangle. Same idea. Same idea. You are right now saying, I am this person with this body. Remove the body. Cognitively. It's all cognitive, okay? Because the body is something which is only known to you actually when you look at the body. When you're looking at me, you don't even know you're the body. You can't say I'm the body. You either see me or you see the body. It's all memory that really plays out there. So the point is, when you look at the body, you say, this is me. Okay, I'm a woman. I'm saying the body is changing all the time. It was born, it is going to go. And you are the one who is seeing all the changes. Therefore, body cannot be you. Drop that idea. Then mind is you. Drop that idea. You keep dropping, what will remain?
Yeah, so I look at the world, I say it's not me. I look at my thoughts, I can objectify.
Good.
You have images, ideas, desires, mind, everything you drop.
Yeah.
Then after that you come to a state where you're witnessing all of it. You're at least not affected as much, but you're witnessing.
Mm-hmm.
But that witness also comes up as thoughts, like, I'm a witness now.
Fair enough. Okay.
And then inside that, when you go, there is black. There's nothing more.
You don't go. You can't go. Where is black? You can't go. How will you go?
There is no other place to stand.
So, but that witness also is not there. In sleep, there is nobody saying, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. So that also goes. Then, who saw that it went? You don't stay. If you didn't stay, how? Look, this is very simple, all right? Did you sleep well last night? How do you know? Come on. Fair, you say you don't know. But I ask you, what did you eat for lunch today? How do you know? You were there or not? Good. What did I eat for lunch? Huh? Why? You wasn't there. Good. You slept well. You were there or not? So don't ask me how, etc. You were there. That you is what we're talking about. Not intellectually, experientially you understand, okay? You were there. Without you being there, how will you know you slept well? And there was no ahankara, nothing around. Yeah. What gets displaced? That identity you can never say when you're sleeping. You only wake up and say, I slept well. Otherwise you say, I'm sleeping well, you're not sleeping. Right? So, what I'm trying to say is this. Sleeping comes and goes. Waking comes and goes. Dream comes and goes. Who knows all these happening? Hey, you are the person who is watching all that. You have to reach yourself or what? No. That's because you have a mindset right now you have to reach somewhere. The reaching is only in terms of understanding. There is no real reaching. There is no real travel at all. There is no travel involved. When everything is one reality, where do you have to travel to reach that reality? You understand the definition. We are saying what is Ishvara? Everything. Therefore, where is the question of you reaching that when everything is that already? It's purely ignorance, in terms of ignorance going, that you talk of reaching. It's no real reaching. You alone are. Your world doesn't exist without you. Where is the world without you? You are the center of the world. Are you ready to take it or no? Swamiji, me, center of the world? Not even a corner. No, you are the center of your world. The world you know is only your world. You don't know my world. And for that world, you are the center. And that is a conscious being, which is you. So you don't have to go anywhere. It is you. Just stop looking. That's the problem there. Stop looking at that point. The one who knows of all looking doesn't have to look. You can't look also. Knowing is its nature. It's a continuous knowing process. Not knowing in terms of objects, just knowing what's happening. That's what you call Sakshi. Okay? We'll see more of it probably later. Right? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all.